You are listening to a Dynamic Works Productions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show.
So what do you watch Marco Polo on?
It's a Netflix show. Like, it's a Netflix original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can't believe you didn't know about this show. It was one of the earlier Netflix shows, and it was really, really good. It was critically panned for some reason, even though it was really good. And then they always said a second season was coming, but that was like 3 years ago. And so the fact that a second season is here is amazing, because it was like super fucking good, in my opinion.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, I remember like how I found it was a Christmas Day. I was with my folks, and like we were bored, and so we were looking at Netflix, and we're like, what's on? And then it was just like, oh, that's cool. I got a message on a dating app. Interesting. What was I going to say?
You were watching it with your folks?
Yeah, no, I was watching it with my folks on Christmas Day, right? Because we were all bored. We'd opened up presents, and we were just like, nobody wants to watch any sort of movies. Let's see what's on Netflix. And I think it had just come out, like, either... Like, it came out in winter. I remember that. And then we just, like, started watching it, and we were just like, this is really good. And before I knew it, we just basically spent the whole Christmas Day watching Marco Polo as a family.
Oh, crazy.
It was super weird. Because, like, we don't watch things, you know? Yeah.
Well, I'll have to check out that. I mean, it's usually not the type of thing that I watch, but then again, I ended up, like, I liked Black Sails, and I liked Vikings, and so it seems like it's that same kind of genre. So,
Well, I mean, I don't know if Vikings is supposed to be trying to do any sort of history at
um,
all.
it's hard to tell. I mean, I think so, but then again, I'm not like a history buff, so I don't really even know.
Yeah.
But it reminds me a lot of um, it's kind of like Black Sails meets
Okay.
Game of Thrones type. It's the same type of thing. It's just a bunch of Vikings trying to
Sure.
conquer a bunch of stuff, and but it's really cool. The actors are really good, and the story's good. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
I just
my sister's been trying to tell me like that's her favorite show, even over Game of Thrones. Um,
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. So
uh,
I just checked, and season 4 is finished, but it's not like available for me to stream. I just
okay,
have to buy it, which I don't want to do.
sure.
Um, but yeah, the first 2 seasons were on there for a long time. They just added season 3 for free on Prime, and yeah, it's great. It's totally great. So, but yeah, I'll check out Marco Polo for sure. One of the things that saved me because we've had no internet for like at least a couple of weeks.
Did you get it? Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
got it. It's working. I'm on it right now. I'm on the Wi-Fi actually.
Do you have the big black box with the multiple white lights on it?
Yep.
Cool.
So, I mean, I
Do
think
you
we're
have
probably
a
gonna.
do you have a what I assume you're using your phone, yeah?
Yeah,
Which iPhone are you on now?
it's a 5S.
Oh, okay. Well, when you get a newer
So
phone, because it's got two modes on it, right?
it does, yeah.
And so you should
And the
use
way
the
yeah,
okay,
the way
use
they
the box
explained it
feature.
to me is that if you're there's the 2.5 and the 5, and the 5 is a stronger, uh, like a stronger signal, but it doesn't go as far. But it's like
That's not
better.
true.
The way that the kid explained it to me at the store was the 2.5 is not as good of a like as strong of a signal, but or I'm sorry, it's not as fast, but it goes farther in your like apartment or whatever.
Hmm.
And the 5 is stronger, but it doesn't go as far. So he's like, look, all your video games or your TV or whatever is like plugged into the box or right next to the box. Have them use like the 5, but the stuff like if it's on the other side of your house, use the 2.5. But like, I don't know. I mean, that's just how it was explained to me. So how does that?
I know better than that kid, and I had an older, way more experienced dude when he installed mine.
Well,
So
explain.
basically, you need to determine what the maximum wireless specification your device is capable of handling if you're using wireless. Like for example, I believe I'll just Google it right now. iPhone 5S. 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 Where are you? I guess. No, I don't want the Apple thing. Just give me the Wikipedia. Wikipedia will know. Dun, 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 dun. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. Where are you, Wi-Fi? Seriously? Mm, should say over here on the side columns. Chip. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, I guess to Apple's site we go. But basically, you need to determine what your wireless spectrum is capable of in the device you're hooking it to wirelessly, and that'll determine whether or not you use uh, the 5 gigahertz or the 2.5.
Oh,
the 2.5 is older, and it is a little slower. And it has good range, but it's actually not as good as AC. But the reasoning behind the 5 is the 2.5 is a blanket radio, like a sphere. Um, so the range you're going to get is the range you're going to get, and that because it's an older band, like everybody has that fucking thing. So in areas where you're like congested, like an apartment building, perhaps,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, you'll get signal degradation because it's trying to filter out the other signals that are around it. Because like basically everything from like 2007 till about a year or two ago used the 2.5 band.
Oh, okay.
So there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it is definitely prone to congestion in this day and age. Uh, the 5 gigahertz travels on what they call an AC band. Um, and basically that has this really cool thing called beam forming on it, which Microsoft uses in its talks as, and well, they first started branding it as Wi-Fi Direct. But basically, what that means is if your device is capable of using the 5 gigahertz spectrum, which is AC, um, it basically attenuates the signal and like boosts it with more power to the direction of your device. Um, so in my actual experience with AC, I've gotten hella longer range with AC, but like say I'm working around my house, it's not so good on the movement part, because it's trying to attenuate and acquire. So like if you like hold still for a second, it will like find the best, I guess, path, as it
Huh.
were, to your device. And it like cuts down through like, concrete and stuff like that a lot better than the 2.5. Um, so if you don't have a newer iPhone or you don't have an Xbox One, I would almost bet dollars to donuts you do not have any device that is capable of using the AC band. Um, so
Well, I'll just have
so
to Google it, I guess.
so
So,
like I mean like you can't get on that band unless your device supports that thing.
huh? But it shows up when I search for Wi-Fi networks.
Mm,
So,
well,
would it? I mean,
well, like I said, it's possible the 5S might have had it, but let me.
I don't know. Well, what about the laptop?
I doubt it. It's pretty new. Macs have had it for a while, but Macs are usually the first to get such things. Um,
Well, I guess I'll just have to Google.
fucking bitch! It doesn't even show the 5S in the lineup of stuff on Apple's website. Let me just
If
go
I,
iPhone
I mean, if I,
5S Wi-Fi band specs. Oh, there it is. Technical specifications. 5S. Cellular. No. So here's the thing.
but what about my iPad is like one of the newer ish ones.
So here's the thing.
Uh,
I may have said something slightly. So you basically have two antennas in your Wi-Fi router slash modem. One's
right.
the 2.4, one's the 5. The 2.4 supports bands A, B, G, and N, whereas the 5 gigahertz band uh, supports AC and N. So if you have an N of a compatible band in your device, it will accept the 5 gigahertz. Um, because what I'm looking at here on the iPhone 5S technical specifications is it does not have the AC, but it says it supports the N up to 5 gigahertz as well. So you can use the N on your iPhone, and if you had like a newer iPad, I'm sure it's probably got it as well. What iPad do you have?
It's the iPad mini, but it's the second or third, whatever, I don't know. Is there a way to check?
Well, which is it?
Oh God, I don't know. Will it show if I? I think it's the second mini that came out. I don't know what version they're on now.
Was it the first one that had the high resolution Retina screen?
I believe so.
Okay, well it's the same as mine. Yeah, it'll support the 5 gigahertz, but it's not AC.
So which is
so all
which
that,
do you think is
so what that also means, Nathan, is so basically N is really, really fast and has basically been the standard since like 2007 or something like that. But it's not as fast as AC. AC is closing in on speeds comparable to like a hardwired line, but it's still not quite there. Is all of this making sense? I feel like I've just become a technical person at this point.
Yeah, you have. I just want to know which one's better.
Use the 5 gigahertz if it'll let you use it. It won't show up for your device if it doesn't support it. Let me put it that way.
Okay, well, it's finding it, so...
Okay. Because when you set it up, right, like, he had you set it up as 2 different things, right?
Well, I just did a self-install, and then it shows, I had to activate it, and it's got the name and password for both. And he's like, well, you can use either, so...
Right, but only older shit can use the 2.5. So, like, on mine, like, I have 2 different passcodes, and then they're labeled which one is which. Like, when I go into the list.
So when I look at my network, like my available Wi-Fi, like I can see them both.
Okay.
So should I just pick the better one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what the password is off the top of my head, so I'll have to...
It's all good. Anyways, though, the point is you have good internet and you're finally settled down in a place.
Yes, and that's really nice. So, it's good. I mean, there's a lot that needs to be unpacked, and it's going to take us a little while to kind of get settled, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's, we're a lot tighter on money now because we're paying much for rent, but it's just so nice to have the space. So Gavin's got his own room again. We've got our room. We've got our living room with the TV and the video games, and the big sectional couch is up, and it's good. And then my folks came out to visit. They got in last Saturday, stayed until Thursday, a couple days ago, and that was nice. It was good to see him. It had been almost a year since we had seen him, so that was really nice. And the first couple of days we were just doing some like kind of touristy stuff, but it was a bummer because I had to work the whole time, but we got to hang out every night. And then it was actually a really nice surprise. My dad went to Home Depot and bought a bunch of like shelving units and stuff, and installed a bunch of like additional storage in our laundry room area, and hung a bunch of pictures and mirrors and stuff. It's really cool.
You'll have to FaceTime with me and give me a virtual walkthrough.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we have that technology. It's true.
No. But
it's a stupid thing my dad always says. We have the technology.
That's funny though. But I want to wait like a week until we're unpacked because it just looks like a bunch of boxes. But
see, if you wait a week, then when I see it, I won't ever get to see it with a bunch of boxes. Eh?
Whatever.
You're like, your logic sucks in that, Tim. Go take a hike.
Oh man. You know what saved me was because we've got I'm on. I was gonna say we still have the like unlimited data right now
Mm-hmm.
on our AT&T phones.
Yeah. I told you I got mine
Although
back,
we've
right?
been, yeah, which is awesome. I'm glad it works for you. I just don't
Yeah.
think I can make that plan work for me because
No, I
it's.
know. It's a fucking insane plan. But it actually fits our circumstances, so, whatever.
No, that's great. Um, but we're in kind of a weird spot with it, and we're looking at maybe changing it because it's expensive. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. I think we're paying
It
150.
is way more expensive. Yeah. I
Um,
understand. That's why I changed it 2 years ago,
and
something like that.
what what we're stuck with now is our contract is expired,
Yeah, they don't do they don't, AT&T doesn't have contracts anymore.
and we're on month to month.
Mm-hmm.
And in order they don't do contracts at all.
That's right.
That's
It's
odd.
all about subsidizing the phones now.
Huh.
So, you
Anyways,
basically lease your phones and all that shit.
well, the problem is if we change our plan, though,
Mm-hmm.
like there's no way to ever get it back.
Yeah, no,
But it's
I understand.
expensive. But it's expensive. So our only choice to get is either to like try to decrease the monthly cost is to either.
Well, I want to point out something to you. So, like, how much data? Like, do you keep track of your data?
No, because I've never had to.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, here's what I would do.
in fact, I mean, we're on the second now. So, I mean, if I could look at what I did last month, I mean, I don't know, but like,
What I would do is I would either like just straight up ask AT&T what your data usage is,
mm-hmm,
and if you're consistently over like 10 gigs or something like that, um, then I
yeah.
would definitely explore other options and things. But if you're not,
Wait,
then
how much?
oh, your wife is
Oh,
talking
oh
to you.
my gosh. Jill said she uses about 3.5 to 5 per month, and I'm using like 15 to 20.
Oh, and you know that factually?
Yeah, she does all the bills and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm sure. Yeah, she says hi, by the way.
Oh, hey, Joe.
So,
You can
yeah,
tell her I
yeah.
say hey. God.
He says hey. Um, so I'm afraid to change it because I
No,
don't
I
want to
understand.
end up. I mean, there's other plans like I think like the off brands where you can um, get like unlimited plans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then
Well,
we've got to switch carriers, and I don't. I'm just
yeah. Well,
like,
here's the thing. If you switch carriers, unless they're like one of like the really low budget third tier, like a fucking Cricket or whatever the hell, or Metro PCS or whatever, that are all really actually owned by the big cell phone companies anyway.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think you can keep your phones in those, but if you go with one of the big four, you probably will have to get new phones
Well,
for sure.
and it's not like we'd
But
like new phones. I mean, we haven't
sure.
got new phones in like 3 years or something, or two
Well,
years, or however.
it's only been two.
Two,
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
Anyways,
because you have the
and
5S, and
yeah,
they're
and I
on
don't
the
have any.
6S, so that's two.
Yeah, okay. And I don't have any real complaints because my phone is great. It works fine. I don't have any issues with it. It's not broken.
Sure.
Um, I mean, it'd be cool to get a new one, but I don't. I don't care.
Well, what I would
But
do is I
I
would like ask like your family members and any friends, or Google some stuff about like what the network is like in your area, because obviously it's different than up here. Um,
sure.
and like I've heard good things from my friends, although of course this area, which while I'm close, still not that close to where you're at geographically. I've heard good things about Sprint, and I've heard good things about T-Mobile. Um, so I would look into those because both of those have unlimited, And I know Sprint will like buy out your contract and all this shit to like get you new phones and stuff. They've been doing that for
Interesting.
like the last year and a half or something like that.
I'll have to check it out. I just don't know if, because I mean, part of the reason was that I was using so much data was that we had really lousy network,
Sure.
or I mean, like Wi-Fi
Yeah.
connection that would drop all the time or whatever, or be really slow,
Mm-hmm.
and so I just wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
And I either like, particularly on the phone, like I play a ton of Hearthstone is really where I'm using most of it.
Yeah,
And
but I'll tell you what, because I've tracked my own data when I used to play Hearthstone religiously when they came out with the phone version. What was it, last summer? Like it does not use a lot of data. Like I've looked at it. Unless things have changed with it recently, it does not use a lot of data. It uses constant data, but it's like kilobits. You know, like I charted when I want to say, you know, it like playing an hour of Hearthstone was like 10,000% less than if I watched an hour of Netflix. Like is really small. I was actually quite surprised because usually online multiplayer games are just fucking hogs. But I'm sure Blizzard knew that going in. And really, if you think about it, since it's turn-based, all they're really sending is like, oh, this did this, this did this, this did this. And the game plays the rest of it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Versus like a shooter game or something real time that's like every single movement has to be sent over to the other person and all that sort of crap. So anyway,
yeah,
I should
I don't
probably
know. I wonder.
I should probably do an intro to the show since this is basically the show.
If you want.
Yeah, I could not. I mean, did you ever listen to our I did a new intro thing for it. Did you hear that?
No,
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just play it through speakers, I guess. Why not? I think it's this one. Oh, well, that's gonna sound weird. I cut a snippet ages ago because people wanted to hear how it sounded like, but I did a new. I'll just pull up the fucking file. So I did a new Dynamic Works intro, and then we have an intro for Fork in Your Ear, and I'm actually gonna redo the intro for Rising Tide too. Oh no, stop. Okay, hold on. What's on the that's the actual recorder thing.
I don't know. Whatever you're doing sounds awful.
Yes. That is correct. Okay. So can you hear this?
I hear like a.
You are listening to a Dynamic Works Productions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show.
Eh?
Nice.
Yeah, and then it transitions from that into the fork in your ear music that I think you've heard before, but whatever. Anyway, that's the newness happening there. By the way, I feel awful having to ask this as I go to my own website to check it out. Did the video thing ever get put up?
What I need for it is if you want like a little blurb or whatever, like up at the top, would be good. And also,
because I've got video, YouTube, Twitch, and text here, and nothing works. Not to drop that on you, but I was just thinking about it as I was playing you that thing.
No, that's fine. I think what I need is to try to embed, like, do you want just a link to your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel, or
I don't
do you
care
want
at this point. I just want something so that when I tell people on all these Twitches that I do, they can actually go to where they need to go to find things.
Sure.
Like whether it's a link, embed, whatever the hell floats your boat. I don't really care. I just want something that works there at this point. Because I was looking at my Twitch thing, and I've done 75 videos since I got fast internet, which is kind of crazy when I think about it, because it's that in the amount of time that I've done podcasts, like that is a shit ton of stuff.
Wait, how many?
75.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shocked too. Like I had to look at I guess a content manager thingamajiggy in the YouTubes, and I was like, oh damn, I've done a lot of stuff, which is weird because it doesn't seem that many, but I guess I don't know.
I set up Twitch to the default is to notify you when someone goes online. And so I think there's a couple people like Hearthstone people that I followed on there that I don't watch very often, but I have you tagged on there too, and I'll be sitting here like at work and it goes, bing, Tim K.A. Trotter is live. I can't watch it right now.
Really? When does that happen?
Yeah, anytime you
but I mean we're in the same time zone. Like when does that happen?
I don't know.
Don't you get off work at like 5:30 or something?
Yeah.
So like when does it happen when like or you're at work and that
I don't
up?
know. I mean maybe I'm just mistaken. Maybe it was when I was on the train, I don't know. But I swear it or maybe I don't remember. I mean, from time to time. Anyways, anytime you turn on a video game and stream it, I get like a little notification. It's kind of funny.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you're getting plinged.
Well, it's working, I suppose. So
yeah, I don't know. It's always so funny though, because like, especially on the Xbox, because like the PS4, you've got like built into the PS4 companion app, like the Sony one. You can put your like word feed on there, which is really nice. And then of course the Xbox One doesn't have anything that's fucking user friendly or nice whatsoever. Despite the fact that I think I've probably done more streaming on Xbox One just because of like weird little indie games and stuff and like exclusive Xbox games and that sort of stuff. So the only solution is to either have the screen in split view, which is garbage because it's the white and purple Twitch text screen, which is really annoying when you're playing a video game. Because, like, at least on the PS4, if you do have to put it on the screen, it's just black and white. So it's really, like, low-key. So what I do on the Xbox is I run a separate account logged in viewing me on my iPad so that I can have the word thing, but like off to my left if I want to look at it, if people are writing things.
Do you get when you're streaming, do you get that many people like watching or commenting or anything?
Sometimes. Most I had, I think, was like 30 people. And I'd been doing a stream for like 3 hours or something. And it was...
Playing what?
I was playing... fuck, what is that game called? I literally cannot think of the name. It's an indie game. It's on Xbox One on basically beta access. They keep adding stuff to it every month. It's like a linear story, but hardcore survival, like basically like the plot of The Martian type game, but like on an alien world. And like there's a lot of survival stuff to it, which makes it, of course, interesting to watch. And it's like, you gotta like figure out how to keep your oxygen up and like how to not like get sunburned and like how to get food and like all this like stuff. And like the day-night cycles get like wacky in that game. And there's like a point where like I was hiding in a cave because like day came early and it was like 120 degrees out. And I was like getting like scorched. And like my suit was overheating and I would like ran into the ocean because I thought, okay, yeah, cool into the ocean. And I was like, sweet. And I cooled myself off. But then like the ocean like ripped me out to sea and like drowned me. And
What?
I was like, fuck you, alien planet. How dare you? Fuck, I can't even think of the game.
Is it free?
No. It was cheap. But like I said, you can only play it on Xbox One or PC. God damn it, I can't think of the name of the game. I've played a lot of it. I haven't beat it yet. What is... God damn it. Maybe if I go... Xbox One early... access games list. There you go. I don't even have to finish typing it. Can't you give me a list, internet? I mean, for real. This is a list of like every game ever. That's not what I need. God, I cannot think of it. It's got a picture of a blue dude in a spacesuit. Or a blue spacesuit and like a planet. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go to my own YouTube page.
There you go.
Classic. It is called... As I'm trying to find it. The Solus Project. There you go.
Huh.
So.
All right. Well,
that's the thing.
I'll have to check it out. How long is it?
How long is what?
The game.
I don't know. I haven't beat it yet. Very long. There's a Spanish playing guitar person in your background.
Next door neighbor. No, I'm just joking. It's the laptop.
Oh, okay. I see.
Wait, hold on 1 second. What do you need? Oh, that's funny. There's the... Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
So anyway, 42 minutes in, welcome to the Fork in Your Ear podcast.
Right?
The shittiest episode 2 ever, right after episode 1, which, I don't know, maybe got better, maybe didn't get better. I don't know. I haven't actually started the show yet in the internet world. I've just been recording things and hoarding them in secret, like a strange turtle person. I'm your host, as always, Tim K.A. Trotter, author, podcaster, gamer. And joining me today only because, I don't know, Mike's internet is out. is.
It's so funny that his goes down like as I'm just getting mine. So
Yeah, but he lives in like, I don't know, East Coast Jersey or something. And like that's where Comcast is notoriously bad for going down.
I always forget that. So when I called to cancel Frontier, like they didn't even try to offer me anything or say sorry. They were like, okay. They must be bad also. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard of the name actually. But
what options do you guys have out there?
We have Comcast, we have CenturyLink, there's one other, and there is a fiber optic one, but it's only if you're in Seattle. But I've heard good things about it though. Supposedly it's one of the best fibers in the country.
No.
Which I guess makes sense, pretty much, I guess, since, we do have a lot of tech shit here.
True.
Maybe not as much as Silicon Valley, but there goes. So you're a Californian person, right? Like, you've probably driven through Silicon Valley and like San Francisco and stuff, right? Before, right?
We only went to San Francisco once, Jill? Do we only go to San Francisco that one time?
New listeners, Jill is Nate's wife.
We drove down once and like hung out there for the day.
Oh, okay. And so I've spent more time there than you have.
Probably.
That's wacky.
We, for the most part, were like really down south.
Okay.
Like southern. Well, yeah, that's true. Like southern California. So, all I know about San Francisco really is that I would not like to drive there. Like drive in the city. It's just as bad as Portland. As far as, the traffic was really bad. There's huge hills everywhere, and yeah, that was the extent of it. We did a bunch of sightseeing, but no, haven't spent any real time there. Sorry, where were you? What was your question?
Oh, well, no, I was just sort of like, because I was talking about it, like we have a bunch of tech companies here in Seattle, but there's obviously a shitload of tech companies in Silicon Valley, but it's weird because like our tech companies are spread out as fuck. I mean, yeah, there's a lot in Seattle, and there's a lot in Bellevue, the sister rich bitch city, and then even more in sort of north of that, which is Kirkland. But like the valley itself, like when you go down the highway, like it's like, oh, there's Evernote, oh, there's Netflix, oh, there's Uber, oh, there, like you just look left and right, and it's just sort of like, oh, okay, I get it now, because they're just all there.
Yeah, no, it never even occurred to me.
And like IGN,
what's crazy
and
is
like
that
IGN's in San Francisco proper, and like it's interesting, and it's kind of weird at the same time because it's like, it was so weird to me because like, I spent a bunch of time with my friend Ian, who moved there for his girlfriend, right? And like, I came from the east, so I came over a bridge, which stupidly was a toll bridge or whatever. Why does it sound like you're flipping through a Rolodex? You're not that old.
Oh no, sorry.
I think me saying a joke about Rolodex and age already super dates me. Doesn't it?
Maybe.
Anyway,
what's crazy is where we were living before and where my parents live, like Blizzard was like 5 minutes away from the house.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I imagine they probably have a pretty big campus.
Yeah, I think so.
Or
I don't
at least
know. I
a
never went. Like,
big
and I regret it
building?
now. Like, it would have been awesome because they've got. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's got to be fairly big.
Yeah. But they have two offices, though. They have the original Blizzard, which is in like North Midwest somewhere. And then there's California Blizzard, which I think is where most people move to. But unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure there's still two Blizzards. Like it's the same
Oh,
Blizzard, but it's like,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
yeah. Actually,
Well, and like how well, a lot of the bigger companies now are doing like different. They've got multiple offices.
oh sure.
I mean, the only one that really comes to mind is like Ubisoft, but any of them.
Huh. I did not know that. Did you know that Blizzard was
What?
formerly called Silicon and Synapse? And then for a second, it was called Chaos Studios. So between
Huh.
91 and 94, it was Silicon and Synapse. And then 1994, it's Chaos Studios. And then it was Blizzard. Interesting.
Weird.
No
Does
idea. Goddamn fucking phones. Go on.
Does Activision own them or have any part of them?
No, they own each other. Because the company is called Activision Blizzard.
Interesting.
Yeah. The way it listed in Wikipedia, which I'm looking at right now, is that it's a subsidiary. Well, how does that work? Blizzard Entertainment Inc. is a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard. What happens when I click on Activision Blizzard? How does... Okay, so Activision would merge with all of its games and developers and publisher Vivendi Games. And Vivendi held Sierra Entertainment's stuff as well as Blizzard Entertainment. And then I guess they just announced that it was going to be called Activision Blizzard because Blizzard is obviously associated with quality. And for that matter, Activision is still a household name. So
That's true.
That's the thing.
But it's still, I think it's better that they're like separate.
Sure, I guess.
Well, just because they're known for Warcraft and Starcraft and all that other stuff. To not be like be branded as Activision or whatever.
What was I saying with my story before we got off on that thing? Oh, I was in San Francisco visiting my friend, and it was weird because like going into it, like San Francisco seems like super fucking big, right? But like I was talking to my friend when I got there the first day, and I was like, "Well, what's the biggest change?" And he's like, "Well, San Francisco's fucking small." And then I was like, "Really?" And then he's like, "Yeah, dude, like what you see is like San Francisco, and then like there's other areas around it where Seattle is like all of this shit." And then I was like, "Yeah, that's true." And I was thinking about it the other day because I was driving back from Seattle, and I was thinking about like how quick I could like move through San Francisco, and like you could move through San Francisco and like this is like probably actual San Francisco people will complain at me, but to be fair, I was traveling like super late at night, so maybe that's the case. But like I moved through San Francisco in like I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or something. And it takes like a full 20 minutes on I-5 going through Seattle. Like it's just bigger, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, but then again, like you're right. I mean, it might have been because it was late at night or something.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hey, so I wanted to
yeah, you had
ask you
some
about
things to
this.
talk about because that's what
Yeah,
we
I
do
wanted
on
to
this
ask
show.
you. I wanted to ask you about the streaming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious. I mean, I had kind of looked into it a little bit.
I know some things, and I'm woefully ignorant in other areas. Shoot your questions, child. What?
No. It's just funny.
Okay, good.
I guess what, like, so I set my laptop up to do it,
Uh-huh.
and I it just like it was like super slow.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know if you have to have like awesome
You
speed
do.
or
So, first of all, I don't know a whole lot about computer twitching or streaming. I know a lot about console streaming and twitching, but
it seems like
what I do
it's
know from researching console streaming twitching that the professional people uh they have they basically have two computers going um to do the streaming part. Like one dedicated computer just for running open broadcast software, which my
okay.
understanding integrates with Twitch, and there's like all
It does.
sorts of
Yeah,
tutorials for that. And then
it's not that
um,
complicated. Yeah.
that is pivoted to a second computer via video channels and HDMI's or display ports or whatever. And then that one does like the uploading and anything else. Because my understanding is that's the cost effective way to do it, is to have like a good video processor laptop and then just another laptop and then using them in tandem to get the job done. Or
Huh.
like my buddy Keenan, he inherited like a complete beast of a computer that has like more processors and hard drives and liquid cooling than anyone really would know what to do with. Um, and my understanding is that is also an appropriate way to go about things. So in my cost-effective viewpoint, while it would be awesome to do that kind of shit one day, like I like that despite the fact that Xbox One twitching streaming is super shitty in comparison to PS4 streaming, which is glorious and easy and works. Um, those consoles can do them out of the box as long as you got the internet. Like
Yeah,
that's
I mean
basically the huge boom, right?
that's one of the reasons I switched to console a long time ago, was that I was tired of like, yeah, if I mean, of course I'll date myself also, but like back in, was it junior high or high school, I was doing like I'd get computer games, go buy a computer game,
Sure.
whatever, and get it home, install it on the computer. It doesn't work. It's either too fast or it's too slow or it's not compatible or whatever. You just get super frustrated. And
Yeah, I understand. It's always been the problem with computer games is operating systems change and hardware gets better, and sometimes hardware getting better does not necessarily help a game that was optimized to like work on a particular set of hardware,
right. So at that point, I kind of got fed up, switched over to PS1, and was just happy that, like, hey, it's gonna work. Like,
right.
Just knowing that, hey, the software that I buy, I don't have to worry about it. It's gonna work no matter what. Like, it was super great. So, and that's what I did for years. I hadn't bought computer games in ages. A few years ago, I started getting like the classic, like old Sierra games from like GOG, but not for any like modern stuff. I would totally still get it on PlayStation, just because I know it's going to work. I don't have to worry about it being compatible or having any kind of issues. So
Sure. I mean, you get no argument from me there.
yeah,
There's lots of and honestly, phone games, or at the very least, Apple phone games have this problem too, or iOS games. Because like you get like some really cool games, but then the developer doesn't support them because each new operating system every year like breaks compatibility with it or whatever.
it was actually really sad when it was the Metal Gear game. They stopped supporting it, or not Metal Gear. I mean the Mass Effect game for the phone.
Oh, which one?
It was like
They've had a couple. Was it in 3D?
No, I had that one, and I beat it.
You're thinking
Actually,
the top-down tactical one?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it probably wasn't anything great, but
It was
I
alright.
really,
It was short, as
I
I
had
recall.
really wanted to play it, and the only reason that it really got to me was because it.
Didn't it tie into your choices in Mass Effect 2 or some shit?
No, I don't think so,
I
but
think it did.
I don't know. If if it did, what I just remember seeing it there in the store,
Mm-hmm.
and then it like not downloading it for whatever reason, and then wanting to download it later, and it was pulled from the store,
Mass
and I could never.
Effect Galaxy.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
no! Not the one that tied in with 3. No, I'm talking about
No.
it was like
The 3D one tied in with 3. I'm talking about the 2D one. Mass Effect Galaxy, I'm looking at it right now. It tied into the beginning of Mass Effect 2. Because you played as Jacob, who was a character in Mass Effect 2. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, the quick blurb on Wikipedia was IGN scored Mass Effect Galaxy a 5.0 out of 10, calling the game rushed, clumsy controls, repetitive action. The different art style of the game was noted as one of the game's positive points, but the animations were weak, and the layout of the game was criticized as uninteresting. The reviewer concluded by advising readers to avoid this uninspired, unfun game.
Whatever. Still wanted to play it. It was just the first time I had ever had something like yanked out of the store.
Yeah.
Like out from under me. And I was like, what?
That is the biggest problem, I think, with digital games right now. And that's one thing that I like to see, particularly Microsoft and Sony are actually doing something about that. Microsoft is obviously, we're going to emulate whatever the fuck we want. Because like we have 360 emulated games now, which run perfectly, by the way, which is great. And they did that before on the 360 where they emulated Xbox One games, which is awesome. Whereas Sony's solution is they have it running on some dev kit somewhere in a server farm and will stream it to you if you have the internet, which is actually not terrible either. So I don't know. In a perfect world, nothing would break compatibility with anything. But that is not where we live.
Yeah, not even close. But anyhow.
Yeah. So what other questions did you have about streaming there, Nate?
I don't know. I guess I'm just like, yeah, I was interested in it because I've, especially trying to learn. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone, trying to learn stuff, watch a lot of the pro players play, and then like, oh, that might be fun. I could do that. And then basically like go on to try it out and got it all set up, and then it was like super choppy.
Yeah, because you're also running a game that, in my opinion, hogs a lot of resources on computer.
Yeah, it was very laggy and just it I don't know. So Anyways, I'm not going to be doing that anymore.
Do you have a do you have any sort of like display input ports on your computer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got an HDMI
Because
input.
here's what I wonder: if your HDMI allows reverse flow,
Uh-huh.
you could probably just get an HDMI out cable from your iPad.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I could do that.
So you'd be putting the picture from your iPad into your display thing on your computer, which would then take all of the strain off of running the game and the broadcast software off of your computer.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same goddamn game. And
Right.
I would argue that it probably runs way higher fidelity on the iPad than the computer. So I don't think you'd lose any sort of quality or anything.
So, okay. Yeah, but could I could I stream it?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if your thing. So think of it this way, right? So if you have a cable that is taking the picture from your iPad, basically mirroring it, and it's putting it on your computer somehow, and you configure the broadcast software to capture what it's putting on your computer is only getting is only running the broadcast software and
Right.
and probably
Okay.
whatever app is accepting the screen.
I see.
So you're
I see
not
what you mean.
using the computer resources to run the game. See what I'm talking about?
Gotcha.
Because obviously your
Interesting.
laptop can't handle stuff.
No. No, that's not what it was made for. Not even
Yeah.
close.
So yeah, but I don't know how you would figure out if your thing could accept a signal inbound into your computer. Anyway,
I don't know. I have to mess with it. I'm not sure. That's a
why not?
good. That's really interesting. I'd like to try that.
Yeah. Did you have other questions?
Not really. I don't. Oh, you mean no about? Well, I guess I just wanted to know the whole experience of it too, because it's like I just thought it would be fun when I first. My nephew watches people all the time stream on Minecraft, and he loves it. Anyways, what my thought was, I guess people make money,
Yeah.
and I thought,
But the thing about that though is, since I've looked at that a lot and I've streamed a lot, is you have to have a set schedule, you have to be consistent, you have to interact, and even if there's nobody there, you have to be entertaining. I think the only times it's acceptable to not be entertaining is if you're doing a story stream. Like you're playing a Telltale Games, or or like, for example, like how I did, because I streamed the entirety of going through Uncharted 4, and I would just shut the fuck up when people talk or cutscenes occurred.
yeah, no, that's smart.
And like, yeah, I don't know. It's a thing, you have to be able to put out at least a acceptable or above average product in terms of streaming, and you have to be entertaining yourself. And like the thing that I find, that's different than like what we're doing right now in podcasting is like, it's hard to be both good at talking and be good at whatever the fuck you're playing at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I guess it feels more natural to me, like when I'm playing a multiplayer game, because there's already talk and stuff, like I'll do Rocket League and first person shooters and like all that sort of stuff, you know, and that makes sense to me in terms of that. But like when I'm playing a single player game, you know, like it's
Yeah,
a lot
I think it would.
harder.
I think it would feel weird, like sitting there talking to myself.
Yeah,
And I guess
it's just a lot harder.
the guys that get a lot of viewers in their stream, and then the chat is going, you know, and they can answer questions and stuff, which is interesting. I mean, and granted, my experience is really just limited to Hearthstone, but people are asking like, well, or have people like explain, like every time they make a move, they explain what they did and why they chose whatever they chose. And I found that like really interesting.
Sure.
But then again, how do you even develop, you know, that following to begin with? And
you
at
start,
some,
you start getting on these podcasts and you start being like, hey, I'm Nathan Wolfe and I stream fucking Hearthstone on blah. Hear my shit now. That's what you do. I mean, just because we've never had a super successful podcast doesn't mean, you know, that people don't check shit out occasionally, you know? Like for
true.
like for example, like that stream that I was just doing was like this really shitty indie game. God damn it, stop. Was this really shitty indie game? What was it called? Lifeless Planet, right? It's like got the textures and graphics of like an N64 game or an Xbox One game or an original Xbox game or something.
Okay.
And it's mostly sort of just platforming and like wandering around, and I guess it's sort of story based and it's sort of okay or whatever. But I had like 6 to 10 people watching it. And it's like, okay. Because like if you Google any sort of thing on YouTube or anything like that to like find out stuff about streaming, you'll find that there's basically 3 schools of thought, but only 2 of them seem to be correct in terms of maintaining viewers. One is you stream a specific game and you do it every, you know, blah set and time sort of thing, and you develop that thing, which is why Minecraft always has this appearance that it's super duper popular on streamers because most kids have played Minecraft. It is the best selling game of all time now at this point, if you can believe that. Like, it's insane. And they keep selling like, what was their stat? I think it was like 2.8 million copies a month.
Wow.
And it's been out for like 6 years or some shit. It's insane, right? But Minecraft has universal appeal because it's the digital Legos, right? Like you've played Minecraft, right?
Sure, we have it. In fact, we just bought it for Gavin.
Yeah.
For the PS4.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like good stuff. And, you know, and there's nothing particularly, you know, it's all cutesy, and it basically has the graphics of, well, a 3D NES game, I guess. But you know, there's a lot of depth to it in the crafting and the placing of blocks, and you can learn circuitry and like all sorts of crazy stuff in it.
Yeah, we mostly just like explore and build simple stuff. But yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a thing. Anyway, so you can stream stuff like that has like a dedicated thing, especially if you're really into it and you do it at certain times. And supposedly that's how you build up your followings and stuff, right? The other school of thought that seems to be correct by virtue of people being successful is you are an entertaining as fuck personality, and you stream things again on a set schedule, but you do it with more frequency, and you know, you're just entertaining, you know, and sometimes the whole point of the thing is not even to be good at the video game, but just to be entertaining, you know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And like,
I think, but
I
was gonna say, I think you have a point though with the scheduling, because if
yeah, I'm super bad at it. I'm awful. Well, but like I said, like months and months ago, my plan was to go really hardcore into No Man's Sky when it didn't come out on June 28th. And I was gonna do that, and I was gonna set a schedule, and I was gonna be really religious about it because I feel like that game has the potential to be played for like a bazillion hours, much like Minecraft can. Like I remember hearing about Minecraft and like before it was out on consoles, and I played an earlier version of it on my Mac in a web browser. And I remember I checked it out one Saturday because I was bored. And then I remember like being really hungry because it had turned into Sunday. And I was just like, what is this demon that has possessed me? Um so that's, a thing. Um and then there's the third school of thought,
It's a little.
which seems to come from like a lot of streamers that talk about like getting burnt out on games and like playing specific things and stuff like that, or being entertaining, which is just streaming whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want it, because it's your goddamn life. And that tends to not be popular with Twitch people. But sometimes some people have gotten successful with it. Like if they were previously popular in one of the other schools of whatever. I'm sort of fitting into that category right now because I'm still getting used to it and I'm still, doing stuff. Like, so like, for example, like I was the most bummed ever. So there's this game that came out this week that's a sequel to this really awesome game that I think you played called Limbo.
Yes.
And it's called Inside. And as far as I know, it's exclusive to Xbox One right now. But it's...
Is it that same black and white kind of 2D?
No. It is 3D, but it is a side scroller. So basically, mechanically, it is exactly the same as Limbo. You are playing a boy,
Okay.
you have a jump button, and you have a grab button, and that is it. But it's side scrolling, but it's 3D, so it does like, whereas like Limbo is like straight up 2D, but it looks really layered in 3D, even though it's not. Like when you run by a box, you can run by a box inside. But if you choose to move it, you just press X, and of course, because he's 3D, he just grabs onto the box. Whereas in Limbo, you couldn't run past a box because of the dimensional planes, right?
Right, okay.
But like Inside is basically 3D Limbo in color. There's a popular thing in the internet going around right now that it should basically just be called Super Limbo, because it's the same developer, it's the same type of game, it's just a completely different setting, basically, which is why it's
Did you say it's an Xbox exclusive?
Yes. That's why I said you'll have to play it when you come up here.
Yeah.
But Limbo was an Xbox exclusive, and then years later, it, got ported to everything under the sun. But anyway, to bring it back to streaming, I was really excited to play Inside because, I was like, oh, it's the next game from the Limbo dudes, and it looks super weird and mysterious and kind of like Limbo, and Limbo was fucking great. I played it now, as of today, 13 times to completion. And I was like, yeah, I'm down for Inside. And then when the reviews started hitting, and when IGN was like, gave it a fucking 10, and I was like, okay, well, that seems pretty high. But it is. The game is totally a 10.
But they don't give out 10s that easy.
No, they don't.
So it must be good.
Yeah. No, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Like check it out.
Yeah. Next time you come up, Or hell, we could even plan like a game day or something.
Yeah.
Or I could even, well, no, that wouldn't work too well. I was gonna say I could come down there and we could play it, but I was like, yeah, it's not. It's really dark. It's not a game to be played in front of your kid. Like, but anyway, no. Anyway, back to the streaming. Like, so I was really excited to play it, and I streamed it, and I streamed the whole game from start to finish in one sitting. Took me about
Wow.
3.5 hours, because it's not much longer than Limbo. And I was crushed because at the end, when I was putting the video on YouTube, it didn't record any of my microphone stuff. And like, I was so hurt by that because one of the things that streamers will tell you when it comes to gaming, since that's obviously what most people stream, is that you want to stream the new titles and you want to go in blind so your reactions are always genuine and interesting. So when funny things happen, you know, they are funny to you and that sort of thing. You know? And so I went through the whole inside. I commentated up and down the thing. I had all of this God damn it, stop. So bad. I had like all this commentary. There were points in the game that scared the shit out of me. So, you know, classic Tim screams, you know? And like there were times where I was frustrated, and there were times where I was making up funny names for the things that was going on. And because I didn't know the story, you know, and it's like super mysterious and it's super weird, and you're just like, oh man, well maybe this thing is happening, and like, oh maybe this plot point's gonna turn this way, and like maybe like this thing's gonna happen, you know, and then something else will happen, and you'd be like, oh shit, I did not see that fucking shit coming, and you'd be like, what? And there were like other times where I was, and I don't say this lightly because like I played a lot of games. There are a couple of times where I was physically sick a little bit to my stomach about certain stuff without giving anything at all away. And then there were other times where like because the game is super physics based and it has like a real sense of motion, much like Limbo, like because it's really really similar to Limbo. You know, I remember how everything killed you in Limbo.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the same exact thing in Inside. And I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but like the very first thing that you encounter that like will fucking kill you is like dogs, right? And it's like, okay, attack dogs. Fair enough, you know? And it's like you see an attack dog and you're running for the attack dog and you don't, you know, figure out how to get away from it right away. You know, and so the attack dog jumps on you and like, you know, throws you down, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I lost that battle. But then he starts like clawing at you and like your stomach and like ripping stuff out. And then he like bites your neck and snaps it, and you're just like, oh Jesus, what the fuck? You know? And so like those types of moments are, you know, not captured, which is frustrating. Because like while the video's there, my commentary is not, which is really sad because like I feel like I said a lot of great shit on that stream. You know, and then there'd be times where you'd like go to try to make a jump, but you wouldn't quite make it. And so the kid would like hit his head and the physics would like bash his head into the thing. So he'd spiral and then like fall down and like break his neck. And you'd just be like, God damn it. Why is your neck not strong enough, child? You know, and you know, stuff like that.
Oh, I want to play it now.
It's so good.
I'll have to watch, I guess.
You should play it. Don't go into anything. Don't look at anything about it. It's too good of a game to like spoil yourself on it. Like, don't read anything about it. Don't even watch a video review. Like, I know that's kind of weird, but the game is only 3 hours, and like really sort of seeing anything of it just like will spoil it for you.
Huh, okay.
So, and like it's just yeah, it's just really good. And also, I'm shocked you haven't beat Limbo. That's sad. You should do that. It's I beat it
You know the
today. Like I beat it again today. I started a fresh stream because I was like, I'm still sort of riding the hype train of Inside being so great, and I'm like, you know what? They gave me Limbo for free on Xbox One. I guess I'll stream it. And it only took me like 2.5 hours, something like that.
I didn't realize how short it was because I must have got halfway through it then.
Short. Super duper short.
I put in at least like probably an hour and a half.
Yeah. Because like the only thing that like really makes that game long is getting stuck on the puzzles.
Yeah, but I've played enough like adventure games that I mean you figure them out after a while.
Oh yeah,
not too bad.
Sure. But yeah, and then the other thing about Inside, like you remember how gorgeous Limbo was?
Yeah.
It's not black and white silhouette like that, but it's just as gorgeous, if you can believe that, even though it's 3D. Like their lighting is like, I don't know, just like the colors they use, and like the other thing too is because it's, even though it's a side scroller and it's in 3D, like the camera angles are like, they're just so perfect and dramatic, and it's like, it's just so good, you know? And yeah, it's just really good. I can't say enough good things about it. And I actually did another stream of it earlier today where I went and I used a guide because I was like, yeah, I didn't find a single secret the first time through. So like, and I felt like I took my time, you know, like I wasn't rushing through it or anything. And I was like, I might need some help. But I like went through and I found all the secrets, and there's an honest to God secret ending to the fucking thing, which is crazy because when you beat it the first time, you'll be like, okay, I feel like my life is not complete anymore. Is there more to this story? I must know things to Reddit, you know? But anyway, I digress. Don't know anything about it except that it's amazing, and it's from Playdead, the makers of Limbo, and it's basically Super Limbo. But it's also not an actual sequel to Limbo, you know? But it's the same type of game. Yeah?
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to have to play it, so.
Yeah. Well, you know, we should just plan like a game day or game weekend or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Get you out of that muggy Portland heat.
How is it up there?
It's been super weird. Like, it's been sort of low hot. Like, I haven't even been running the air conditioner, which is kind of weird. Because it's been really cool at night, and it's been sort of like today it was misting, like super hard. Like fog was rolling in and stuff, which is good because obviously it's 4th of July weekend, and we don't need fires.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, no, it's been super weird. It's been, you know, sort of sunny, but it's been a little. It's been not as hot a June, and usually, in my opinion, June is the hottest month in Washington. But at least where I live, it has not been that way. I mean, it's been warm and hot sometimes, but it's also been overcast and whatnot, which just makes me think that like July and August are going to be that much worse for heat, and we'll probably get like crazy hot weather up until October or something because we have schizophrenic weather here. So
yeah, it'll be interesting here too. I don't know how it's going to be.
Yeah. So did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, Nate?
I don't know. Not off the top of my head.
All right. Well, I guess that's the show.
That's funny.
Thanks for listening to.
Hey, did you see? I saw something on on Facebook about there was some. I don't even know where it was. There was some train and it had Agents of Shield on it, and then there was like a chain and a bunch of fire.
Show. That's a different show, Nate.
Well,
this is the Fork in Your Ear. We only have 3 rules on the Fork on Your Ear podcast.
Yes.
No talk of religion, no politics, and no talking about the shit that's talked about on the other podcast that's been running for 3 years that we also do. Which is Rising Tide, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Check it out on iTunes, Stitcher Network Radio, and www.dynamicworksproductions.com. What?
Well, that's no fun.
Well, no, I get it. Like, I know exactly what you're about to say, and I saw that, and everybody thinks it's going to be Ghost Rider. But people are forgetting that Hellfire was introduced last season, so, you know.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree.
But then again, Norman Reedus has been running around saying he wants to play Ghost Rider and saying, Marvel, hit me up, you know. And all I'm saying is I think that that's because he's the one who bites the dust in The Walking Dead, which is a show that I no longer care about. And if that's a spoiler, I don't give a fuck, because everybody else can go fucking die. I realize that pissed off probably 14 million people, but whatever. I don't care. That show has burned me. I am done.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it at the moment too, especially because there's so many
did you finish
other
it?
good things on. No, but I mean, I heard about the
I talked about it. I'm almost positive I've talked to you about it. It is so dumb. We should probably not talk about it because I can feel myself getting angry about it.
It's so funny.
It's not funny. It's wrong. It's horrible, horrible to do to your audience. You know what show has been fucking awesome, though, to its audience? Game of Thrones.
What? Oh, man, I still haven't. I'm like 3 episodes behind, so don't.
No, Nate, you can't. Really? What?
I had no internet.
But you have a phone.
Why would I watch it on the phone?
Oh my god. Okay, so you're really 3 episodes behind?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So here's my non-spoiler review of those episodes. Okay, you ready? It's gonna be really fast. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the third to the last episode. It was okay. Second to the last episode. Greatest thing in television history. One of the greatest things in television history. Like, holy fucking shit fuck balls. Like, dear, what the shit. Amazing. Finale. Season finale. Not quite as amazing as the predecessor episode because like nothing could possibly top that. At least with this season's budget because they spent it all on that second to the last episode, which is kind of what they did last season. Now that I think about it, like with the whole, battle in the, the one I'm talking about against the White Walkers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the finale, even though not as big on the spectacle, was definitely holy shit amazing. So many storylines, so many things moved into place, like, and so many secrets have finally been concluded and revealed. Like, it was amazing. Like, fucking fantastic season.
So at this point, they're farther in the TV show than the books, right?
That is correct. They are so much farther. And, like, I think this season particularly, since they've been pretty much off books for this season, like, it seems like the pace has really been picked up because, like, even though, like, I feel a little nitpicky coming on where it's like, oh, they're like, all right, we're traveling to this country. And then, like, the next scene is all like them getting off the ship and arriving in whatever country. And it's like, she's like, oh, I guess we're not waiting around on that storyline, and they've been doing that a lot this season. And at this point in Game of Thrones, I'm totally okay with it. Like, it's kind of weird because usually it's like, what was it, seasons ago when what was his name, Tyrion, he went over to go find Daenerys, and it took like,
Right, right,
and he was just
right.
like gone for like 6 episodes or some shit, you know, and he just shows up later.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that, none of that. They're just straight like, it's crazy. Like, I'm insanely hyped for next season. Like, it's basically like, without spoiling it, all of the pieces are put onto the table to begin like the final thing. Like, it's crazy.
How far do you think it will go?
Oh, well, they've already said they've only got 2 more seasons, and the next 2 seasons are going to be shorter.
Okay. Interesting.
I think they said next season's going to be 8 episodes, and then the following season's going to be 7. And that's it. Which makes sense because like the last 2 episodes, like you can't even imagine how much stuff happens. Like, it's insane. Like I feel like they almost like, if they actually had a book that they were following, like they just did like a book in 2 episodes basically. Like, it's crazy.
All right. Well,
Yeah, you need to get on that stuff.
yeah, basically.
So what
yeah.
do you do? Do you only watch it on your PS4?
No, usually the iPad.
Oh, so it sounds like you should do that tonight,
Yeah,
because
I think.
I'll probably spoil it if I keep talking about it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I need to.
Yeah, you should totally do that. And I'm gonna
What else was it?
finish. I'm gonna finish my. I'm on the last episode of the current Orange Is the New Black. Do you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Is it good?
I
I was
like
never
it
interested in it, but if I mean,
because you worked in prison.
uh, yeah, I guess maybe.
I mean, that's what I
I don't
naturally
know.
assume. I assume that people who've either been to prison or worked in a prison, like, prison shows are inherently like such a turnoff.
That's correct. That's pretty true.
And my observation, because my day job is installing automatic doors, having worked in a shitload of prisons, prisons are not as interesting as any TV show, like, ever. Like, they're just not, or at least the ones I've been to.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably 100% right on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Orange Is the New Black. The first season is a drama with some comedy, and the second season, which is not as good as the first season, is a little too heavy on the drama. And the third season, they're just like, you know what? We're actually a dramedy. And that, I feel like, sort of like feels correct for the show because the show is pretty funny and quirky. And so far the fourth season has been amazing as well, but it's also been a little darker, so it's sort of has swung its groove a little bit from season to season. But I really like the show. You know, I call it my call it my prison bitches show because that's what it is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. You were gonna say something before I started.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm really looking forward to the Dark Tower.
Oh, that's that thing that I don't know anything about, except that Adam has told me that it's amazing. Who's another co-host of ours?
It's I don't know how to describe it. Basically,
Use your words.
it's Stephen King's like epic Western, like dystopian future, crazy like fantasy world where it's like old town gunslinger meets like magic. It's kind of pretty cool. There was a whole mess of 7 or 8 books or something, and he's managed to like tie it into almost all of his novels. Like over the last 30 years, there's like just tiny little like pieces of it in each one of his books. It's really pretty cool. But the cast looks really good. Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, I think, are the leads. So,
Ooh.
yeah. I'm looking forward to
It's a
it.
TV show? Who's doing that?
I don't remember. I think
I'll
it's like
Google it.
HBO or something.
I've heard.
But I liked the books, and it was a really interesting idea. I like the gunslinger. It's cool.
It says it's a movie, which makes sense since it's got Kahanahe in it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a movie though.
I'm
Like they had been talking.
looking at the Wikipedia thing. It says is a upcoming 2017 American fantasy science fiction western and horror film directed and co-written by Nikolai Arcel based upon the series of novels of the same name by Stephen King. The film stars Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey and is set to be released February 17th, 2017. So early next year. There you go.
Okay. Well, that's cool. No, I thought it was going to be.
Means it's probably filmed. So there you go.
I thought it was going to be a TV show, but movie. That's cool. As long as they do a good job.
And it's produced by Ron Howard, Kiva Goldsman, and Brian Grazer, which are all big producers. So, but you said it's a huge lot of things. It's a huge lot of books.
I think there's 7 or 8.
Okay. So, what do you think? If it's successful, a book, a movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the first book good enough to be a movie?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly think it'd be better as a show because it's a little disjointed, but like it would be easy to break it up into like hour-long episodes. But it will be fine.
Let's see. So it says here, according to Entertainment Weekly, the Dark Teller tells the story of the fallen land of Midworld through the eyes of Roland Deschain, a sort of frontier knight whose primary weapon is not a sword, but a pair of revolvers. He's on a quest to save his decaying world by reaching the tower that stands at the nexus point in time and space. Interesting. Okay.
They do some funky, like, time travel, dimensional travel, kind of weird stuff.
It's also got, fuck.
Sure.
It's also got, Rorschach in it. The guy who played Rorschach.
Oh, yeah, the redhead guy.
Jackie Earle Haley. And Fran Kranz is in it as well. He's the quirky, redheaded dude. He's been in like a ton of Joss Whedon things. He's in Dollhouse. And did you ever see the horror movie that was also sort of a spoof, Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Remember the pothead? He was the pothead.
Okay.
Anyway, he's
it's been a while.
Then a bunch of other names that I don't know. There you go. Yeah. Interesting. I guess J.J. Abrams was working on it from 2007 to 2009, and then Ron Howard picked it up from 2010 to 2015, and then he passed the director over to Nikolai Arcel. Who the fuck is Nikolai Arcel? What's he done?
I have no idea.
He's done King's Game, 2004, Island of Lost Souls, 2007, Truth About Men, 2010, and Royal Affair, 2012. And he's got a bunch of screenwriter stuff. He wrote 2 episodes for Millennium. Okay. Which was an X-Files spinoff.
Yeah, I remember watching that a long time ago.
So there you go. He's Danish, apparently. So I don't know. That's not. You know what else is Danish? The developers of Playdead, who made Limbo and Inside. Get Limbo right now on any fucking device ever, and
Hey,
Inside on Xbox One.
that reminds me, did you play, of course, now I can't think of what it's called. Do you play Watch Dogs?
I did. I have watched
And was it any good? I just saw that I heard a lot of complaints about it being like super linear.
No, it's an open fucking world game.
I'm sorry, linear is not there, like repetitive, like kind of like the first Assassin's Creed was.
Well, it's way more advanced than the first Assassin's Creed, but in that it's a first game in a series, it definitely has some issues that could be considered to be compared to Assassin's Creed since it's Ubisoft and it's the same developer, but I think that comparison is completely unfair and unjust because Watch Dogs has a zillion things to do in it, whereas the first Assassin's Creed had fucking nothing to do in it except for the missions. And despite it being the first Assassin's Creed, right, open world, it was super linear, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It is not like that. It is more like it's more like an Assassin's Creed 2 sort of thing. But it's also, but comparing it to an Assassin's Creed is sort of dumb because it's set in the real world in supposedly the most realistic digital Chicago ever made. And like there's gunplay and car play and stealth that's sort of like Splinter Cell, and then like other cool stuff that's not like Splinter Cell with like hacking and sort of stuff. But you know, it does have you know, the sort of what's become typical in Ubisoft games of like it does have sort of like guards towers to clear out and capture, I guess. You know, which kind of became a thing in what Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and continued in every Assassin's Creed game ever, and then the Far Cry games, and then like other things as well.
Sure.
But here's the thing for me on it. Like, the story is good and well presented, but I don't give a shit about it. The world is very interesting. The multiplayer is super duper unique. Like, there's just a lot of unique things about the multiplayer in that game because it's sort of like other people can invade your game, but like you're did you ever play any of the Assassin's Creed multiplayers?
I played a little bit of the multiplayer on
you remember
one of them.
You remember the
I think it was Brotherhood.
Well, they're all basically the same or variations of each other. Like, you know, the gist of like you look like an NPC and you're blending into the crowd sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that, but in an open world and could happen at any time while you're playing. Which makes things really interesting. Because apparently in their world, you appear as a regular NPC as well. But so like
all the time?
Just when it happens. Like a thing will pop up on your cell phone. Like you have a lot of cell phone interaction that's a lot like GTA.
Okay.
And like it'll be like a player is invading your world and it'll be like connecting and it'll be like, you know, username blah 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 has invaded your world. And then it'll tell you what type of multiplayer activity you're doing with him. And it'll be like you know, it could be anything from a race to he's trying to find a target in a crowd and you need to find a target in a crowd before he does and like kill him or get him or something. or you have to make a dead drop without being seen by him, or a good example would be like he's an assassin sent to kill you, and so you need to like just sort of like blend into the streets of Chicago. And so unlike Assassin's Creed where it's like very specific and there's maps, it's the whole fucking, you know, open world of Chicago. So you could be like in the middle of a mission, like doing something around a subway, right? And there's a shit ton of people around, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. And then suddenly you see some dude doing some parkour, and it's like, oh, yep, there's the dude who's playing online. And then you just sort of like carefully move up behind him, pull out your shotgun, and then just like end him. And then it'll be like, you've defeated player blah blah blah. They are disconnecting or whatever. And then you just go back to whatever it is you're doing. And that's like super satisfying. But also like they did some other cool stuff where like Robert would be over to my house, and I would be logged in on my iPad, and what you could do is you had like this really cool 3D map of Chicago on the companion app on the iPad, and like one person could be playing the game because like it didn't have split screen, but the other person could be in charge of deploying cops to stop you. And so like they could be like
fun.
directing roadblocks and like sending helicopters and surveillance drones. And because Watch Dogs is all about this like high-tech connected city, you know, there's things like drawbridges and like traffic lights to like all turn green to cause a traffic jam, or like you know, those round like metal parking barricades that shoot up out of the ground. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah,
You can like trigger those. So like if you know he's traveling on this road, and you can like touch on the iPad and it like jams it up. And so like he could be going really fast and he slams in, so he crashes his car, and then he send the cops to get him. So you can play multiplayer that way. That's super fucking awesome. We played so much of that. Because it was just really interesting to see like, well, how far can you get? Because a human player can direct the AI of the cops way better than, you know, the game can. You know, it's interesting. But the thing for me that sells that game, and especially why I'm definitely going to check out the second one, which is going to take place in San Francisco.
Oh, okay, is that where it looked really good? I just saw like a
Yeah.
little trailer.
Yeah, and people have said that it seems like it's really good. The thing that sells it for me though is like I'm a fan of the Person of Interest show, and Watch Dogs is 100% Person of Interest, the fucking game.
I've never seen it. What is it about?
Oh man. Okay. You would like Person of Interest, okay? Because I know you love like cop procedurals. It's sort of a cop procedural, but it's way cooler and darker. It's from Jonathan Nolan, who's, you know, co-wrote the Dark Knight trilogy with Christopher Nolan. It's his younger brother. And I think J.J. Abrams also produced that one as well. But basically, there's this dude, and he created a AI supercomputer that is plugged into every camera and microphone and internet in the world. And it's basically the surveillance software that, you know, the CIA, FBI, and NSA use to spy on us every day.
Okay.
And he is like super duper rich and independently wealthy, sort of like a cross between like Batman and an Alfred. And his computer AI is so smart because it can detect patterns in people and predict whether someone is going to die. And so he programmed a backdoor into this machine to give him a number, which is basically the social security of the person who the machine believes is going to die within 24 hours. And because normally it's just supposed to, you know, track things like bombs and terrorists and all that sort of stuff, and it does that. But the inventor, Harold, has a conscience, and it's like, well, it can save people, but nobody wants to do it. So he goes rogue and underground, and he tries to save people before they die. But because he's like an old person and he's got like a gimp, he basically contracts this guy, Kyle Reese, who's basically like this ex Navy SEAL Batman fucking character, and is like a ninja. And so he pays him a bunch of money to like go save people, but it's like way more complicated than that. But that's the gist of the show. Like it's super in depth and like almost a little scary, the stuff that they say about our own technology and stuff, which is reasonably on the nose. And like yeah, it's basically Watch Dogs is person of interest. Because
Okay. Well,
Watch Dogs is all about a super AI that is watching everything. Except in Watch Dogs, it's called City OS, and it's not necessarily good at any rate. Anyway, it's super good.
What's it on? Like, is it? It's not recent, is it?
It is recent. It just finished its final season. I'm actually not caught up on it because it was a CBS show, and CBS was always fucking hard to watch because they didn't fucking put their shit on iTunes or on streaming things. But I think most of it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And if it's not, I have the first season on Blu-ray, so whenever we meet up again, I'll just fucking loan it to you. But it's super good. Yeah, you would like it. Like it's best way to describe it is it's basically Batman without the Batman costume, but set in a way that it could be actually real.
Okay.
In a way, like that's kind of a weird thing to say given what I said, but like it has a very much a Dark Knight kind of feel to like everything in it. So, I don't know. It's really good. The actors are good, like the stories are good. But yeah. Anyway,
well, I'll check it out.
You'd like it because you love all that like crime type stuff, and it is like so into that sort of thing. But it also has this little bit of a, just around the corner kind of technology aspect to it.
No, I kind of like that, especially after watching Mr. Robot. Like, now I'm really.
God, you keep talking about Mr. Robot. Okay, so I don't know what it is. What convince me in a couple minutes, because then I should stop the recording because it will have been 2 hours.
I'm telling you, it's like the greatest thing. It's about
okay.
It's about
what's the gist?
Okay.
What's the gist that doesn't spoil story that's gonna hook me into it? Go. Start. Right now.
Super genius computer hacker with mental problems and really bad social skills. Like, I don't know, it's really good.
Okay, well that sounds awful. But like But so why is it good?
I tell you what,
is it like super dark and twisted? Was the writing good? Is the acting good? I've heard things online that the music is good in the show, apparently. My mom's told me it's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I think the acting is really good. The main character is the guy that played the
yeah, I know it is.
The brother guy.
I know. Yeah, the bad guy in our game we streamed.
Was he the bad guy? I don't remember anymore.
Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, because we're not going to spoil the game. Ho ho ho.
The acting is really good. No complaints there. The storyline is really good. What else can I say about it? I thought that the like the actual computer hacking sort of thing was actually like really well done. Not that I know anything about it, but it seemed very realistic to me.
Well, neither do I.
It was like, I watched the first 5 minutes, and one of the things that I really liked about it is that he narrates the show almost like a
Like Dexter?
yeah, like Dexter or like House of Cards or one of those where like the main character is constantly talking to you,
Oh,
like narrating what's going on.
I haven't watched House of Cards. Does he narrate it?
Oh, yes, and it's very, very good.
Okay. Well, maybe one day I'll get into that. I'm not worried about it going anywhere since it's a Netflix original.
I haven't watched the most recent season, but I watched the first 3 and they were very good. Anyways,
Yeah,
yes, very good.
Just a quick aside. That's one thing I love about Netflix original shows is it's like, you know, it's going to be on that fucking service forever. So you don't have to worry about, like, for example, like I didn't watch the 3rd season of Orange is the New Black until like last week, and the 4th season came out last week. So, you know, whatever. Anyway, back to what you're saying.
It's super nice that you can do that.
Yeah, I like it. Go on.
What else can I say about it? The storyline is really good. The stuff that he does with this little hacking stuff is really good. It's that Christian Slater's in it.
I knew that.
Who else? Let me think. One of my buddies at work from like the tech guys, I told him, hey, watch the show, check it out, tell me what you think. And he's like, you know, is it good? I'm like, look, just watch the first like 10 minutes and you'll know right off the bat like whether you like it or not. And I totally think that that's true.
Oh, really? You think it's a show that's so good, if you're not into it in 10 minutes, it's not a show for you?
Yeah, I think if you watch the first 10 minutes or so, and you'll know right off the bat if you like it or you don't like it.
See, that's so funny because like there's one of my friends of mine, we are always talking about TV shows and stuff. Never anything Marvel because he's not into that stuff. But one of my good friends, Jay, we're always like swapping TV shows, and like, he was telling me that, what was it? The Netflix original, it's got Cillian Murphy in it.
Peaky Blinders or something.
Yeah,
like
he was
that.
telling me Peaky Blinders was the shit, right?
I've never watched it, but I
watched the first episode, and I love Cillian Murphy. Like, he's great in everything he does, and he's great in this too. And I liked the setting, and I liked everything about it. I even liked some of the big name actors that they had in it. But like the thing, and supposedly it's based on like real history and stuff. But like, I've seen The Sopranos, and it's basically the fucking pilot of The Sopranos in a historical setting. And it's like,
okay.
Well, okay, that's all right, lame. And like, I know that everybody and their goddamn dog rips off The Sopranos, you know?
Well, that was like when TV first started getting.
It was a turning point, like, for sure, you know? And it wasn't.
I used to watch it with my old boss, like, 10 years ago or whenever it was. Like, we'd have, like, Thursday nights, we'd go over to his house and watch The Sopranos.
Nice. That's true, because you'd have to go to somebody with HBO to see it. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's true. I remember renting the DVDs on Netflix, and then I think I fell off about midway through the series. And then when HBO Go came around, I was like, yes, I'm finally going to finish The Sopranos. Great show. But yeah, no, anyway, that was a problem I had with Peaky Blinders, because he was like, dude, it's so fucking good, and you're gonna fucking love it and stuff. Because like, it's funny because we know each other super well, but like, I think we have very different tastes in TV. And like, he said something recently that like really, really pissed me off. So like, I'd been trying to get him into watching Battlestar Galactica for like ever, right? Because I firmly believe that Battlestar Galactica is like, it's like a Sopranos. It was in a similar era, and it did so many revolutionary things, and is just an amazing piece of television science fiction. And so, like, it was weird because, like, I was trying to get him into it, and, like, he was just, like, not into it, and I got him to watch, because it started as a mini series, and then it became a full series. And, like, I got him to watch the mini series, and he apparently watched the first season because I loaned it to him. And, like, I was talking to him, and I was like, so, when are you going to want the second season? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I just went on Wikipedia and I read, like, the whole series. I guess it wraps up okay. And I was just like, why would you fucking do that? You horrible.
I don't know. I used to didn't like it.
You horrible human being.
People always tell me, like, hey, watch this show. And I'm like, eh.
Yeah, but I'm getting to a point here that'll reflect badly on you. And then I was just like, why would you do that to yourself? And he's like, well, like, the acting was, like, so, I guess. And I was like, what are you talking about? The acting was fucking just as good as anything on TV these days. And he's like, yeah, I don't know about that. It seemed like fucking hokey acting, like some sort of, like, Firefly crap. And then I was, you shut your fucking filthy whore mouth and you take that back.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really mad. I didn't talk to him for like a week. That was like sacrilege. Can you see me? Can you feel me staring at you right now?
I'm shaking.
Yeah, I'm sure. Have you even started it? Like, Christ.
No. No.
Nate. Well, did you at least watch Spectacular Spider-Man and Batman Beyond?
I watched the Batman Beyond that you gave me. It was the first 5 episodes, which I did like.
I thought I loaned you the whole DVD set, dude.
Oh, no, I haven't watched that yet. No.
And the whole Spectacular Spider-Man series.
Yeah, no, I haven't even started.
Oh. Well, you can watch Spectacular Spider-Man with your kid. Probably not Batman, though.
No.
Batman Beyond is super dark.
Yeah, no.
I think, like we were saying earlier this year, like, when I rewatched it, I was like, man, the shit they got away with a Y7 rating, good God. Yeah, you should get on those, Nate, man.
Yeah, everything's been super busy with crazy and stuff with work, but maybe I can now. Things are settling down a little bit.
That's good. I just want your shit to be settled so we can resume seeing things and not being such lame things about, like, work, tiredness. I mean, I don't actually mean that too harshly. I've been busy as fuck and I've been super tired lately. But I understand. Just get back to normalcy.
Yeah, everything should be really nice now that we've got our own place. We kind of need to just finish unpacking and get our routine down. Yeah. My boss just retired, so it makes things interesting.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Alrighty, I guess we should close out this fucking show, whatever this thing is. You can call it that. I'm your host, as always, Tim K.A. Trotter. I wrote a book called The Citadel Arrival. It's available for $2.99 on Amazon Kindle and iTunes iBookstore. Free samples are available on each respective market. It's a novella, so it won't take up too much of your time. And it's action, adventure, sci-fi. Let's check that out. You can check out all of our stuff at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Once again, that is www.dynamicworksproductions.com. This has been episode 2 of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. We don't have a Twitter for this yet. We don't have a Facebook for this yet. Actually, as of this recording, this show is not even out yet, despite the fact that we recorded the first episode, like, the beginning of June. I'm a terrible person, and it's been a weird month. And Nate's going to fix the videos on the website. So that'll work.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I promise.
I feel like you've been saying that for like a month now.
I have, but now I have internet. That's a step in the right direction.
That's true. And your own place. So
True. It's got to count for something.
Yeah, that's right. It's because the faster you do those things, the faster you can get to your dream of twitching Hearthstone.
Yeah, I don't know. I was doing that SPL, whatever. I was in the league stuff, and I ended up like dropping out of it because just I don't have the time. And trying to arrange the matches and stuff every week is just a nightmare, and I'm totally over it. Yeah. But so who knows? I mean, I don't even think that I've got time for it. But
are you still playing every week?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play as much as I usually do, but yeah, I'm playing for sure.
Cool.
And enjoy it a little bit too much, probably.
Well, I mean, hey, man, you know, like, it's definitely one of the best digital collectible trading card games I've ever played. You know?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's just, you know, it's you feel like you have to put in a bunch of time or a bunch of money or both. But it's
those two reasons, and the fact that I felt the balance meta of the games just, I don't know, got tweaked too hard one too many times. And then so many packs and expansions afterwards were an attempt to overcorrect that. Like, that sort of turned me off. And the fact,
I kind of...
And then there was the whole thing that, like, I needed things to, like, play, basically. And I get that there is a, you know, only playing with the base set mode now or whatever. Like, that's fine. But that's, I don't know. It's too little too late, I guess, in my opinion. And I don't know. I'll probably get back into it at some point. It's not like it's going anywhere. They're making hand over fist money on that.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they're making more money on that than fucking World of Warcraft right now. Like, it's crazy.
Well, World of Warcraft's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's been, what, at least a decade? Maybe more?
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about it. But anyway, we need to close this show. We're at 2 hours, 11 minutes. I don't even think I'm editing this shit. I apologize for the first 47 minutes. We didn't tell you that this was a show, being the second show. Welcome to the Fork of the Year. We're random as shit. Oh, yeah. Sign off.
Oh, sure. This is Nate. Signing off. Good night.
And as always, audience, get forked. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I said it at the end of the first one, and Mike was like, that might actually be good enough to be a catch line. And then I was like, I hope so.
Oh, man.
Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
This is Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.